Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of It's All Related. I'm Andrew Robinson.
And I'm Josh Robinson.
And yes, we are, in fact, related, hence the name. But we won't be talking about how we grew up. We're going to be talking about a barrage of topics that, well, basically either we encounter on a daily basis or that just are of general interest. And we'll see where this goes. This is our first ever podcast, so hopefully we don't make too big a mess out of it, but hey, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, we'll work out the kinks along the way.
There you go. So I had an interesting evening.
Yeah? What happened?
Yeah, well, we picked up a HomePod and a Google Home Max to test because I'm a total geek when it comes to, well, gizmos and audio video equipment. I mean, I did that stuff for a really long time. And I have completely fallen in love with the Google Home Assistant products. I guess it's the Google Home, the Google Mini, and then now you've got the Google Home Max, this big monster right here. And I had always just wanted to get a Google Home Max. I think I've been on the wait list for this for a really long time, and then stores wouldn't carry it, and
they wouldn't even demo it.
Yeah, they didn't even demo it. Well, now they're in stores, and the store demos don't do it any justice. It's still really hard to kind of tell what it's like. Mm-hmm. So we went out and got them yesterday because the HomePod came out last Friday.
Yeah,
and well,
a year and a half later after these guys.
Well, it's. The Google Home Max, in all fairness, came out beginning of the year.
Yeah, I'm talking about the
HomePod.
The HomePod's
is it
a little
year?
late to the party. But
is it a full year since Google Home, the original?
I think they were pushing them last Christmas. I think.
Well, they definitely were pushing them this past Christmas, 2 months ago.
Yeah,
Christmas.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think it's been 2 Christmases now where they had
really?
the Home. I think.
God, I don't remember.
I think back then though, the Google Home was more like $200 versus last year they were oh, you want a Google Home? Yeah, $99. You want a Mini? $30.
Yeah, my first Google Home, I remember.
Actually, I got my Google Home for $75.
I know I spent my very first Google Home. I know I spent at least $150 on it.
Yeah.
Because I think you're right. I think the original sale price was $179 or whatever it was.
You got a trusty phone. Well, you go ahead.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Google Homes and Google Minis in the bathrooms, and it's. I will admit I was very resistant at first. I was very much against putting listening devices in my house.
It came out in October 2016, just for reference.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I was against the whole listening devices in the house, but when you realize that you carry a phone on you and it's listening to everything you say, even when you're not using it, and then showing you ads based on what it hears.
Which is a thing.
Which is absolutely a thing, yeah.
Many different ways.
What is another device at this point? Because heck, they're putting displays and smart technology into refrigerators.
Yeah.
So something's going to be listening to you. Might as well have good music.
Yeah.
Might as well have good music, and a way to have someone read you the news, tell you the weather.
Suggestions that matter.
Yeah.
At least it's if it's going to suggest things to me, at least it's stuff that I might be interested in based on what I'm talking about.
Right. And so that's what ultimately got me over the hump. But I will say this, as cool as they are, and if you are a total Google head, like I am, certain products have that Chromecast built in, so it even allows you to control. I was controlling the TV with it, and
the Home.
Well, with the original, the little pods, yeah. This will do it too. Mm-hmm. Anything that the smaller ones do is built into this as well. It just sounds better. So. The Google Home Max is Google's throwdown to. I really think it's their throwdown to Sonos. They're going after a more discerning audiophile with this speaker.
Yeah, that's definitely not something you're going to put on your kitchen counter
No,
while you're cooking.
It's big.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as soon as we took it out of the box last night, me and my girlfriend Christy, we unboxed both of these, and as soon as it came out of the box, the first thing was like, oh my God, like this thing, because they advertise it, or somewhere someone advertised this thing. It's like the size of a loaf of bread. That is the biggest damn loaf of bread ever, and it's heavy.
Which I'm okay with the weight.
Yeah, I don't mind, and
'cause you don't want things vibrating, especially with a speaker that big.
yeah, and the sealed quality of it is the reason why it can play so loud with so much bass with so little distortion. But I'll tell you, we unboxed this one first, set it down on the counter or on the cabinet, and then we unboxed the HomePod. And the second the lid comes off the HomePod and you see it, you want it. Like, it's pretty. It's pretty. It is 100% an Apple product. And
you can put it anywhere in your home and you're either not going to notice it or you're going to notice it in the sense of like, oh, wow, what's that? Sexy little piece, or what is that over there?
We set it amongst a couple of picture frames and a candle, and you never noticed it.
Yeah,
you never noticed it. Whereas no matter where we put this, what the hell is that? What is that? Like,
I mean, luckily the Home Max doesn't look like the Google Home. Kind of looks like an air freshener. Like, if you don't know what a Google Home is, it kind of looks like an air freshener.
I know. I always thought it looked kind of like a vase that you couldn't put anything in.
Pretty, close, but like similar. But the Max actually like looks like a speaker.
Oh yeah.
The HomePod just looks like a fancy piece of tech. Like, you could probably convince someone that it's like something else.
Oh yeah. There is nothing about the HomePod that says I'm a speaker, and then you turn it on and well, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the reason why I was really keen on trying these in the house was I really wanted Christy's opinion, because I've worked in the AV industry before. I worked in it for 10 years, and talk about an industry that is afraid of women, despite desperately at every turn talking about how much they need women to survive.
Yeah.
Yet they're afraid of them. Or worse, they're totally condescending and pandering to them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, if these were sold outside of Best Buy, like in an old school AV dealership or store, the way that you used to have to buy stereo equipment, they would point to the HomePod and they'd go, the little woman would love this. Like, this is how you're going to sneak sound into your house without the woman noticing. They would literally say that kind of stuff.
I mean, they realize like women like have ears too, right? And they have like
not just
taste in music.
Oh
right?
yeah, and not just that. Not even that. Like, women have more discerning taste than men in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
so
they smell better, they hear better.
Yeah. So it's
listen.
like, okay, so what? They demand a product that sounds as good as the best thing you've ever heard, as well as looks the part.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to admit, women won't skimp on the price of something if it checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
They will spend the money.
Yeah.
But it's got to check the boxes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this, like the Google Home Max, this giant gray loaf of bread, it may be the best thing anyone's ever heard, but no one wants the giant gray loaf of bread, so it's now overpriced.
What did it go for? $400?
$399. The HomePod's $349. But you know what? We had several people over last night listening to these. No one bat an eye about the HomePod. No one. Myself included.
I think there's something to be said about the half-bitten apple on the side of the package that makes people not bat an eye about the price.
Well, I think you come to expect that you are going to just pay more because
I think
of that.
Apple's conditioned people a little bit.
But I'll say this.
Because nowadays, like, their smartphones are like $1,000, and you're, I don't care. I want it.
Yeah, but I'll say this. I'm the guy that actually bought both of them. And I wanted this one more than that.
You wanted the Home Max.
I wanted the Home Max more than the HomePod. And I wish everything that was in the Home Max was in the HomePod. Because the HomePod sounds better, it looks better, and I don't care about the price, at $349, I'd buy 3 or 4 of them right now over this.
There's one big catch with the HomePod, though. It's Apple only, which is a huge. Well, in America, it's not that big of a catch because most of America uses iPhones.
Do they?
It doesn't have Bluetooth,
Doesn't have Bluetooth. There is a Bluetooth module in there,
but
it is not active, which means Bluetooth might be coming. You can.
So they have it in there basically hoping that we're going to see how sales go without it. And then if we need to expand it outside the iPhone market, we'll put a software update in the cloud. And
Yeah, but here's what's hilarious. So it only, at this point, it requires you to have iTunes Cloud, iTunes, Apple Music subscription. So you want to say...
you have to have an iTunes subscription?
Or Apple Music, whatever
it has to be... You can't use Spotify. You can't use...
I'm getting to that. So if you want to say, hey, Siri, play me a song, Siri only can read songs from Apple Music.
Okay.
Now, you can AirDrop from Spotify or Google Play Music or YouTube, or you can AirDrop to that thing.
In lieu of Bluetooth.
So in lieu of Bluetooth, you can AirDrop to it, which again means...
Is that connection solid?
It is.
It doesn't cut in and out?
It doesn't cut in and out, at least not in our test last night. It didn't cut in and out, but it is laggy. You'll go to AirDrop a song from Spotify.
It'll start saying it's playing.
And no, you'll hit your song, AirDrop it to there, and then hard 15 count before the music starts playing. But it plays at the beginning, and then it goes.
Okay.
And once you have a connection, it switches tracks pretty well.
Okay.
Way better to AirDrop from Google Play Music to the HomePod
Than iTunes?
No, than Spotify. Spotify was the least functional music service that we AirDropped to HomePod.
I could kind of see that. Just because Spotify is third party, whereas Google's technically third party when looking at Apple's products, but they have their own native.
But it didn't
platform.
The delay was 3 to 5 seconds. Spotify, solid 10 to 15.
I mean, Google and Apple have been in bed together for a while, though.
Yeah,
with working on. I mean, not saying they're collabing on anything, but they've had to make their stuff communicate with each other for a while now. That maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe Spotify is just still worried about fixing lawsuits before they can worry about
exactly.
a HomePod.
But I have to say, the HomePod. There are a couple of other things that you have to be aware of. There's no other jacks. There's no aux jack. There's no other way to connect to this thing except wireless streaming.
Okay.
And I get that that's where we're going. And just like my new laptop, we got rid of everything because you're just not going to use it or need it.
Or just get a Thunderbolt adapter.
Yeah, but there's not even a way to adapt anything to this. It's power cord. That's
for
it.
The HomePod, yeah.
For the HomePod.
For the laptop.
Oh yeah. But so you're not going to be using this at this juncture as a soundbar replacement. You're not going to be hooking up your turntable to this. Now, if they enable Bluetooth in it, then the Bluetooth turntables out there, you might have a shot. You also can't tune these. The sound that it has, and granted, it does sound amazing for what it is.
Yeah.
But if you're a person that's I just like a little bit more bass, you can't tune that. There's no tuning that. But it is the absolute right size. As soon as these two were side by side, and then I had my Google Home air freshener
Google
looking.
Home's half the size of the HomePod.
Yeah. Google needs a product between Google Home and Google Home Max. And that's where this comes in. If Google would develop a speaker that was about that size in volume and that size in actual sonic volume, I think that would be their best seller. And if they can do it,
they undercut their price,
$199,
$200,
yeah, $199. I don't think you can keep them in stock. So everyone was impressed with the HomePod. Everyone agreed that it sounds marginally better than this. It will not play as loud as the Google Home Max. But if you had to pick one to use today, to buy today, everyone buys the Google Home Max, knowing that it's not what they want, because it actually works and it's easy to use. Except I wanted it because it has the aux jack, which would allow me to plug in my turntable, and it does stereo pairing. So if you get two of them, you got stereo.
Well, plus it acoustically tunes a room.
So does that. So does the HomePod.
This one does?
So does the HomePod, and the HomePod sounds way more effective with it than the Google Home Max. The Google Home Max, I think that EQ tuning, and I have no way of proving this, and it would be a really hard test to do. But the room EQ thing with the Google Home Max is most noticeable when you switch it from horizontal to vertical orientation.
Sounds better vertical?
I think the speaker sounds better vertical. I do. And
Can you take the front off to see where like the tweeter and like sub is?
The tweeters are, well, first of all, when you turn it vertical, one of the two tweeters turns off. And it becomes a mono speaker versus a stereo speaker.
Oh, okay. So the tweeters are on.
The tweeters are on the inside edge, would be on the inside edge. The volume edge where you run your finger up and down the side, that top edge is where your tweeters are.
Gotcha.
So when you hold it vertical,
It turns whatever one's on the bottom off.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the speaker sounds better vertically, but the second you go vertically, you want two of them. Which
Cool, yeah.
cool sales ploy. You know, now I can use two.
Yeah.
The aux jack in this, so not functional. So not
Hard
functional.
to access.
You can't say, "Hey Google, switch to aux jack." You literally have to plug the aux jack in, unplug the Google Home Max power, then plug the power back in, and then use the aux jack first before you do anything else to activate it. You cannot start by listening to streaming music and
You
then
can't determine it.
There's
in
no
the
remote.
Google Home app.
No, I looked. I went on the Reddit boards. I went on so many things, and Google themselves have issued a statement saying that right now that is the only way to access the aux jack.
Huh.
And I'm like,
It's
that.
like a minor oversight. That's kind of a big deal.
Well, what's funny is, so if you start with the aux jack, so I'm listening to a record. I got my 30-year-old turntable plugged into this. I'm listening to a vinyl record with just a speaker, no preamps, no amplifiers. That part is amazing. If at any point I say, "Hey Google, play blah blah blah," it will switch to the streaming portion.
But you can't say, "Hey, go back."
Nope.
Playing the turntable.
Nope. So it's a firmware thing.
Yeah.
That'll get fixed. But
I wonder if that is like a tricky coding thing to tell a technology to switch between.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I only play with the stuff. I can't build it. But I'll say this. The HomePod needs to go back in the microwave in the incubator for about another 6 weeks. And I get why they released it now, especially if Google Home products and Alexa products have been on the market for over a year. I didn't realize they'd been out that long.
Yeah.
They needed to get in bed now before it was too late.
Yeah.
But boy, it's a half-baked product. It is feature light, performance rich, but only just.
Yeah. I mean, some of their older products, they like, when they first released them, kind of were limited too. Outside the iPod, because the iPod kind of just changed the whole game when it came to listening to music.
I think the
iPhone-
phone too.
But when the iPhone came out, I mean, the App Store wasn't fleshed. I mean, and
Yeah.
granted, you have a ton of time. You have 10 iterations to flesh out the App Store.
Well, no one had ever
Like-
seen an app store.
And that's true too.
They created
an
that
App Store.
entire. They arguably created our entire smartphone universe from nothing. They took
But they
what they
were
learned
late to the technically late to the smartphone party.
They were
BlackBerry just was too focused on the businessman.
True.
That they got lost in the potential that Apple then exploited.
true, but they took their music platform, iTunes, and they went, what if this is how everything is purchased in the future? What if this is how everything is
Just
accessed?
A la carte, basically.
A la carte virtual store. And then they attached a phone to it.
Yeah.
And I'll admit,
I mean, they revolutionized the whole one button thing for sure.
Yeah.
Though I do every now and then miss a good dedicated keyboard.
oh, I don't. I just don't like texting in general, but that's just me.
Man, I miss it. Yeah, like back when I don't miss T9. I don't want to say I miss T9 because that was a whole nother thing.
What's
But
T9?
back when you can only had one through the number pad. But
Oh.
So instead of like
Click, 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 click to get to.
but
Yeah.
T9 would like basically was the first like guessing, like word guessing thing. So if you did like 2 and 7, it would like guess that you're trying to say like at or something, or I think that might have been 1 and 7. But yeah, it would guess based on the sequences, and then it would give you some options. But oh man, dude, I used to be able to like just phone in my lap and just not even look at it during like class and just like talk to people because you just knew where like if your thumb just stayed on the 5, you knew where all the buttons were.
Yeah. See, this is how we show our age difference because by the time I could have gotten in trouble with having a smartphone in class, I was out of school. I didn't get my first smartphone. Okay, back up. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was in college.
Damn.
And not like right when I got to college, but like I'd been in college for a while.
Yeah.
And it was a Sprint flip phone with a dot matrix screen, like the same screen they used to put in those virtual animal
Like Tamagotchis.
Yeah. That's what my screen looked like.
And the only game you had was Brick Breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it couldn't even, if you typed in a 10-digit phone number, it took 3 lines to do it because you had the area code, then the first 3, and then 4, and it was stacked because it couldn't even do it. And who's calling? The first 3 letters of someone's name, and then it's a total guessing game at that point.
Yeah. I think my first phone was a Motorola Razr.
Oh my God.
When I was 16, because that was the rule. I couldn't get a phone until I had a license because according to mom, there's no reason to have a phone if you're not like driving. Like, or that was her. I think that was just her way of like keeping phones out of our hands until.
Well, yeah. I mean, nowadays I saw.
Except our younger brother got one when he was like 13.
Yeah,
and that's how it works nowadays. Like my friend's kid, he's like, yeah, I can't believe we did it. Never thought we would, but got our son a phone. I was like, how old's your son? He's like 10. I'm like, oh. God. Trust me, I hate myself for it.
Yeah, I saw a kid in the grocery store the other day. Couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 years old with a phone.
Yeah.
I get the iPad. Like, I get having a child give him an iPad with cartoons or some interactive, bright,
or the
colorful.
iPod Touch, where it's just like, if you got Wi-Fi, cool. You can basically use everything.
Yeah, but you're not making calls. But
they're probably still texting and stuff with WhatsApp and Messenger and
this kid was like Snapchatting from the store. Like or stories or whatever it was, like, it was crazy. Yeah, no, my first cell phone was in college. That Sprint phone that, as long as I was standing directly under the tower from 3 p.m. to 3:05 p.m. and it was a Tuesday, I could make a call.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was my favorite too. When you hit up someone and they wouldn't answer, but then they'd text you back, be like, yo, call me back after 8 p.m. when my minutes are free.
Oh my God, yeah, the minutes. Yeah. Call me tonight when
call me back.
Call me tonight when it's free. Yeah, no.
God, nowadays you call people and they're like, why are you calling me?
Yeah, you
just text me.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh my gosh, don't get me started. Like, if only we had this device that would allow us to talk to one another. We don't want to talk to one another.
We do, but at everyone's own convenience.
Right, and it's funny too because it's like, well, I can just text somebody and they can get back to me whenever, and it's like, can they though? Like, we kind of start to sit there and like, why haven't they responded?
Oh yeah,
especially like in dating. Like, I thank God I'm not dating anymore. But oh yeah,
like, it's a blast, guys.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't want to get too far off track, but just to maybe this is a topic that we'll cover again in the future. But so I got divorced last year, and I had not been on a date in 11 years prior to that.
Dang.
So
Yeah, the longest I've gone is like a year.
Yeah.
And that's like,
So
like I was like a new baby. Like, oh, what's going on?
yeah, so when I started dating after my divorce, just to put it in perspective, when I met my ex-wife, Facebook wasn't even a thing.
Did it exist?
No.
So it hadn't even like, it wasn't even like a Harvard thing.
I think it was a Harvard thing.
It was very like, you had to be in college. You had to have a
right.
college
I think it was
email.
a Harvard thing.
Okay.
Because it
Which
was
is also probably crazy if we told like kids nowadays, where like you had to have a college email address to even be considered to be on Facebook. It was
a
college
certain
community.
college.
It started
addresses.
as you had to be an Ivy League college,
Right.
And then I think after like 6 months of that being established, though, because I remember when I went to ASU, or it was my senior year, I'd gotten my like EDU email, and I remember senior year it was in like that wider acceptance pool where I could give them my ASU email and get a Facebook.
Yeah, no, the last time that I had to worry about dating, it was during the Friendster to MySpace migration.
Oh my God. Friendster, holy cow.
Yeah, Friendster to MySpace migration. So
Bring back MySpace.
yeah, so I was off the market for a hot minute.
Yeah.
So when it came time to have to go back to dating, like there's dating apps. Like no one,
Like multiple.
like you used to have to go somewhere and hope you bumped into somebody, or you just ended up dating a coworker.
Yeah. Or
a friend of a friend.
I've got a person that's perfect for you.
Yeah, a friend of a friend. And I'm sure that still happens, but oh my gosh, it's
a different world.
yeah. To go back into the dating pool at like, and I know I'm complaining because there are people that have it way worse than me, but to go back into dating, which is totally a young person's sport now.
Yeah.
It's always kind of been a young person's game, but it is definitely a young person's game. And by a young person's game, in my perspective, dating is for 18 to 25, 26-year-olds with these apps.
Yeah. I'm on like the fringe.
Yeah.
Just hanging on.
To go back into the dating world at 36, 37 years old, after being out of it for 11 years, and for social media to dominate so much of that scene, and the fact that it's like, okay, well, do you meet people on Facebook? Oh, no. That your mom hangs out on Facebook. You don't want to meet people there. No, there's Tinder and Bumble and
There's like Hinge now.
yeah. I was like,
But then you got farmersonly.com, you got Match, you've got
I thought that was a joke.
No, that is real. Farmers looking for farmers. That is real.
Oh my god, I thought that was a joke.
No, that is a real ad. That is a real
Well,
ad.
I know they're real
That is
ads.
a
I think
real
they're
website.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. No, I always thought that was kind of like someone just having a lot of money, just trolling people. Like if you went there, it was just like,
No, I'm sure part of it's like they like kind of like poke fun at themselves, but no, absolutely. If you were a farmer looking for another farmer, you go to farmersonly.com.
interesting, huh? So yeah, I mean, it's the
There's one to
way.
like find cougars or something. It's not Cougar Town, it's a show, but I think there is one where it's like for
Oh,
50
yeah.
and up.
Oh, there's like, yeah,
It's 50 and up, it's like our time.
our time, yeah. There's Match. You see all the Match ads, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I see those ads. I'm like, that person's not on Match.
Oh, the people that are like, oh yeah, I'm single and ready to mingle. And
Yeah.
like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
How much do they pay you to say that?
You are cast.
Yeah.
You are from Central Casting.
I've been on that website and you do not exist anywhere.
Yeah. But maybe we'll talk about dating another show. But yeah, it is bringing it back to all this smart tech. It's amazing how far and how fast we've come. And even though I think even saying how far is a little bit subjective, like as I get older, I realize that I'm becoming more and more like the old grandpa screaming, "Get off my lawn," because I don't like texting. Like Christy has gotten me into texting, which is fine, and she's like the only person that I'll text with partially also because she doesn't answer the phone if I call, or if I call, she answers with like this kind of.
They think people usually think something's wrong.
They think like your head's cut off.
Yeah.
And
what's going on? Why are you calling? You're like,
yeah, and
just wanted to hear your voice.
I guess maybe that's a good thing, because instead of like 911, it's like, no, if you are able to call, they are going to answer it because they assume that it's an emergency.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
But there's other times too where it's like, no, I just didn't want to type out a 300-word text.
Yeah.
To tell you what happened.
Well, when I text, I have like 2 broken thumbs. I was just, and I can type.
I like the voice chat thing, where you can leave like little voice clips. Like that's like iMessage to iMessage. Which if she has Apple, then that works.
Yeah,
That's usually good for story time.
You're also at the mercy of hoping that they get it right. they translate it right.
Yeah, well, that one's on you, fella.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's just it's crazy. Like, we went from having to go to a bar or say, meet a stranger, which right now is its own scary proposition at times. But I think
it was just more of a helpless feeling.
Yeah,
back then. Where now it's just like you literally have catalogs of either women or men.
We have catalogs of everything. You got catalogs of music. You got catalogs of movies. You got catalogs of people. And I worry, just as, as an artist and photographer and filmmaker, like I would go to like film festivals and speak. I remember I was giving a lecture at USC, and I was saying that, making everything so accessible, you run the risk of devaluing it. And we're seeing that, with like,
especially in dating apps
and Instagram. But I was talking about devaluing art and stuff.
I was thinking more devaluing people.
But that's what I mean. I think we are to that point where we've begun to devalue people, because it's so easy to just not even have to put yourself out there, but put out a version of yourself. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't like me? Swipe. Next person. Swipe.
Yeah.
Swipe.
Even if a date doesn't go well, which happens all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of times you literally, as you're walking like out of that date to your car, if you're not walking with them, don't do it when you're walking with them. But yeah, there's been plenty of times where I'm sure people are like, oh, that date sucked. Well, left, right, left.
Yeah.
And just as they're walking, just swiping. So
yeah, I got lucky. I got really, really lucky, because I was not gonna survive much longer. Because, well, here's the thing: is it's like
there's tons of success stories with the dating apps. I mean, I know plenty of people that I met through.
Yeah, I met Christy on Bumble.
Yeah,
and
it's become a lot more openly accepted. When it was just Tinder, everyone's just like, oh, it's just a bunch of teenagers just swiping around trying to bang each other. Which there's still
that exists.
It does.
That exists.
I think females especially kind of took a stance, especially in like their bios, where they're just like, if you're just here to hook up, like keep walking, like I'm good.
Yeah.
Which
is good. Fine.
I'm sure there's plenty of guys. It's like, all right, I'll play that game until I can get some, and then that's where the whole ghosting or
oh my god,
walking, just no call, no show after that. But that's a whole different issue.
And there were so many things I wasn't ready for, like terms, like everything's an abbreviation now.
Oh yeah.
I would
like what one threw you off?
I would find.
Luckily, acronyms are kind of like by the wayside. Like you don't see like G2G for got to go or BTW you'll see every now and then.
I mean, I would go on these
right now.
I would see profiles, and the first 3 lines of a profile are just these abbreviations, like I am.
Oh, is it like the I am INFP or INJ?
I swear to God, I saw those and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like Googling.
They're fun to do.
I'm Googling people's profile. Like I'm selecting the text on my phone.
Yeah. Like,
and then what is IFP or whatever it was. I don't even know if that's a thing.
And what's funny too is your search results are like crazy. Where after that, that's like, oh, this person's strengths are these person's weaknesses are.
Oh, it's the side effects on drugs is what it is. It's
It's like the WebMD for your personality, basically.
right. But depending on which website you go to, like I had one person was like, oh, this person's outgoing, creative, nurturing, da 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 da, and then the next website is like, this person's this, and that, and you're like,
Yeah.
are we sure we're talking about the same person?
Yeah.
So, but it's
And that's where I'm like iffy on that kind of stuff. It's like, I'm glad you put that in there because it does give me some insight as to like kind of how you function. But at the same time, it's like, why can't we just learn this through having like a conversation about it?
true, and ultimately, I think that's what you have to do. But I think because getting it back to everything being kind of accessible and app-based and texting, do people even know what a conversation is anymore?
If you are 22 and older, I say yes.
See, I think
That's
so.
being generous. I think you could go a little older than 22.
But I mean, I'm talking about a
the
real.
teenagers and like younger kids, like, oh,
I'm talking about a real conversation, not talking at somebody, which everyone's guilty of. I'm guilty of that all the time, like talking at people, but like having a real conversation where you're like, okay, I came in with this mindset, or I came in with these sets of ideas or concepts. You came in with that. You shared, I shared, and I'm walking away from this with not necessarily a different person or with a changed mind, but I am thinking about the conversation, not was that person hot enough? Can I stare at this person's face for another date?
yeah.
Sort of a thing.
I personally can't do that. That's just my personality, where it's like,
Yeah.
if we do meet for the first time and the conversation either feels like there's nothing to talk about, or it's just like one worded, or like no really like give and take in the conversation where you're asking questions and they're just like, yeah, it's cool. You're like, do you like want to talk about it? You want to like expand on why it was cool?
Yeah.
But they're just like, meh.
Well,
Like, I think those ones, it's like, yeah, you could be attractive and you could be a nice person, but it's literally the first time we've ever met. Mm-hmm. And like, we can't even like talk about random things.
yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah, and now we're having this conversation on Valentine's Day of all things, which is I'm not even going to get into that.
V-Day, me day.
Not going to even get into that. Although Christy and like some of the neighbors, they had like a Galentine's
Oh, yeah,
Day.
I've heard that before. Yeah, where all your
yesterday
friends
or
kinda
day
kick it and
before.
hang out.
Yeah, they had a Galentine's Day. I'd never heard of that before.
I just heard Valentine's Day like a week ago.
I'd never heard of that, and apparently it's a thing. And
So Valentine's Day is going to be a thing now. Friendsgiving's a thing.
Friendsgiving.
I like Friendsgiving, though.
Yeah, Friendsgiving. I had my first Friendsgiving this past year, and that was fun.
Yeah,
That was a lot of-
they're a lot more refreshing than you would think.
yeah, I didn't mind it. So
Eliminates that family pressure. Not that there's like family pressure. There's more family pressure at Christmas than I think at Thanksgiving. 'Cause Thanksgiving's more just like, as long as there's food on the table, everyone's just going to eat into a coma and sleep. Maybe.
no, I
Maybe that's how I approach it.
as someone who is
Can't hear you through all this stuffing in my mouth.
as someone who has had to
And I
split
haven't had to bounce around to
split
different
between
families.
split
so
between families and stuff. It's a little different.
I can see that getting a little.
It's not
laborsome.
difficult. It's not difficult, but it
It's a lot of
definitely
time
adds
commitment,
it
a lot
adds
of
a little
emotional
stress.
commitment.
Yeah, for sure. I try and stay pretty upbeat and loose with it, but I can totally see when people complain or people get stressed out in the holidays.
Oh, I totally get it. I
Yeah.
totally understand it.
Yeah. But no. So once again, it's all related. I swear. We swear it is. We get off.
Yeah,
on
we
these,
go on tangents, but
we get off on these tangents.
they're
So
entertaining tangents.
yeah. So that was this. That was the Google Home Max and HomePod, and we're gonna do a full actual pretty review of it and everything.
I have one gripe with the HomePod.
What's that?
And it was because I had a very strong misconception about the design. But it's mesh.
It's fabric.
The whole outside is mesh. And I didn't like that because it looks like
Metal.
very thin, sleek, shiny, space gray, space white metal.
Yeah.
And I put my fingers on it and it was squishy. And that threw me off.
And because it's fabric, I can already tell you it gets dirty very quickly.
Because is it white or is it like the silver color of like the Apple logo?
It's a gnat's ass below perfect white.
Okay.
It's
So it's like
just
a blend of white and the Apple gray logo.
Yeah.
Basically.
The top is a little bit more gray than the fabric, but this is not a product you want to handle. And I mean, who goes
You're
around?
not really going to move it
Who
around.
goes around handling their speakers? Except these speakers are getting smaller and smaller, and they would have you think you're going to pick this up, put it in a different room, party in that room, if you're not going to put one in every room. And I'm saying that you probably have.
And it has to be powered at all times.
Yes, it's not battery. It has to be plugged in. And the power cord, the power cord is fixed. There's some places online that say it is removable. Don't do that.
Okay.
Technically, I guess it is. But
You're going to be pulling pretty hard.
But apparently, if you remove it, it's a bitch to put it back.
And it could void the warranty?
No, it doesn't break it.
Void it? Okay.
But because it's a sealed enclosure and the receptacle is so far inside, you're threading a cloth cord into a soft object.
Okay.
And all the imagery aside, that never works.
Yeah.
But because it's cloth, and if you are planning on just picking this up and moving it into rooms with you, even though you are going to have to plug it back in and wait a minute for it to reacquire your Wi-Fi signal, I'm going to say you've got a dozen, maybe 24 moves with this thing before your hands, no matter how clean they are going to leave off-colored oil stains on this thing like crazy.
Does it collect dust?
I've only had it for a day or two, so I can't tell you.
Because that would be unfortunate.
But
if after a while, like the top of it starts getting like that dusty gray that you like can't really get out.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing about the tops of both of these, with them being touch-based sensitivity, the second you go to wipe it down, you're going to turn it on, turn the volume up, do this, do that. You're going to activate it and geek it out, unless you unplug it and clean it. But it's if I were buying a HomePod, as much as I like the white and I think it's more decor friendly, I'd probably get the gray one.
They do make a space gray.
It's not as dark as the.
It's
like this.
Yeah,
it
like
matches
their new space gray.
It matches their new laptops.
Okay.
I think I'd get that because it would show dirt less, but the white blends in.
Yeah, I mean,
Totally
white can go
blends in.
anywhere.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm with you about
it's the right size.
the home. Yeah,
This is
the
so
Google
big.
Home is like it's a good size. It's small. It's for looking like an air freshener. It's pretty inconspicuous. Like
Right.
unless you have it out in the open. I personally would still go with the Home Max, but that's all. I also only heard it in the office. I heard the HomePod in the office. It sounded very flat. Didn't have a lot of heart or like girthiness to it.
Well, you can play with both
I
of them tonight.
personally am kind of more of a bassy person. I like to listen to hip hop and rap more than other genres, so I think that influences it too.
If you're a bass head,
Because the
Google Home
Max,
Max.
I mean, the thing bumps, but
yeah.
and yeah, we heard it in a very large, open, tiled room.
Right.
So it very well could have been just the acoustics, but
I will say this: both's performance depends also on the type of surface you place it on. You put it on on a glass shelf or a shelf that's very thin with nothing below it. It's not going to sound as good as if you put it on a meaty counter.
yeah, something to kind of
Something that
eat it up a little bit.
that definitely is surface dependent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. For the price, if the HomePod was $250 instead of $350, I would probably go
I think
the
you could even.
HomePod instead of the Home Max.
I think you could shoot. I think
I
Apple
can't
could even do.
$50 though.
I think they could do $299
Yeah,
instead of $349. I think they could do $299 all day long on the HomePod.
because it is enough smaller enough that because when you put them side by side, you can literally put two HomePods side by side, and
still
it'll take up.
It's still not as big as a Max on its side.
It's close.
It's close,
but it's yeah.
And
but
this
you're
thing
telling
is
me
heavy.
But you're telling me I can get one Home Max for $50 more. That basically would require two AirPods,
Oh no,
HomePods.
the Google Home Max is the better value, without a doubt. It is the better value on points as far as what it can do, how it does it, the ease of use, and its upgradability for the future. It is hands down the winner, hands down. And if you want to shake the walls in your house or apartment, it's a hands down winner because the HomePod won't do it. But if you're
Which
listening,
is good and bad, depending on what you want.
if you're listening at moderate volumes and you want something that's elegant, the HomePod is the winner.
Yeah.
But for absolute sound quality at moderate to lower to moderate volumes, even a little bit loud, but I wouldn't play the HomePod past like its 70% volume point. Where this, oh my God, you can throttle it to 100, and it's
because it's encased, and it's not. I mean, the HomePod is 360 audio for sound, which
gives a sense of spaciousness, which is good.
In the middle of your room.
I want to hear two HomePods together, and coming this summer or fall is going to be a firmware update that allows them to stereo pair, which the Google Home Max already does.
Yeah, and I like the Google service.
I do too.
Or like the OK Google.
Oh yeah.
Or Hey Google versus Hey Siri.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you.
Said Hey Siri, and now I just turned her on.
Yeah, which is why if Google decides to make a fourth speaker in the line, it needs to be one that sits between the Google Home and the Google Home Max.
Which I think they will, and I also think that will have a screen. Because Amazon's
coming.
ahead of that game.
It's coming. Google has already, at CES, they showed a Google Home with a screen, but that's not the solution. I mean, that's coming, but that will not sit between these two. Because
price point, it probably will.
It will, totally. And size-wise, it will. But sound-wise, it's going to probably sound a lot more like a Google Home than an improved but not quite beefy Google Home Max.
Yeah.
And that's where they're going to miss, because Apple is going to sell HomePods because it's Apple, but they're going to sell on the sound. And in the right environment, and I don't think Apple Stores is the right environment for a HomePod. I think they are not going to have they're not going to be given their due diligence in a store. It's too big of an environment. It's too big. They don't sound good when the environment is too large. They need boundary walls to help reinforce that sound. So,
which could be
if you have
risky, because I mean, Apple hasn't advertised that. Their HomePod stuff is just Kendrick Lamar with the HomePod text going crazy.
Yeah, and they're getting the name in your head, because they're going to turn HomePod into Kleenex, basically, so that when someone goes to a store and looks at a Google Home Max, they're going to call it a HomePod. That's what that advertising is doing.
Probably
is they're planting that seed in your mind that there is no such thing as a Sonos, there is no such thing as a Google Home or an Alexa. Everything's a HomePod.
Yeah. So it's like when you establish iPhone.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't have a cell phone. You have an iPhone.
You have an iPhone.
Yeah.
So that even when you go to the store and you're like, and you're holding a Samsung. Is this the iPhone? No, this is Samsung Galaxy S9. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I need an iPhone.
Yeah.
You're going to go up to an Alexa and be like, is this the HomePod? And that's all they're doing. That's all that ad is for. Is good sound HomePod, good sound HomePod, good sound HomePod by Apple.
Yeah.
Where meanwhile, unless
they push the Home Max at all?
Have you seen a commercial for Home Max? Have you seen a commercial for Google Home anything? On TV during a show that people watch. Not on the internet.
No, I usually just see Alexa.
Once again,
Which, I mean, says to Google, though. I mean, everyone knows what a Google Home... Well, maybe. I
think because they went into
everyone
stores.
knows what a Google Home is.
I think there's more Alexas out there than Google Homes.
Oh, totally. So I think so Google Home came out in October of 2016. I think Alexa came out maybe like 4 or 5 months before that.
I think Alexa was first to the party,
Is
but
Amazon Echo?
Yeah, Amazon Echo. But I mean,
When do you think the Amazon Echo came out?
beginning of 2016.
Not even close. Not even close.
When?
November 6th of 2014. The Amazon Echo has been out for 3.5 years.
Holy crap! Yeah. Okay.
3.5 years.
Wow. Now,
The
admittedly,
Max came out, or the Home came out in 2016.
the Echo didn't do much at the beginning except allow you to voice order
Yeah.
Amazon products.
Yeah. And yeah, they got in super early.
Wow.
Which-
I didn't know that.
Which I guess, I mean, can justify the HomePod a little bit more, where it's like, yeah, when the Echo came out, couldn't play music through it.
But now all these products can.
yeah, and they're
you're the
just
one
getting in.
Yeah, if we were talking 3 years back in the time machine and the HomePod, you and I would be like, this is going to
Yeah.
change music forever.
Yeah.
This is how people are going to listen in the future. But
Yeah.
now we've seen the future, we have the future, and the
Yeah.
HomePod is like, hey, we can play iTunes. And you're like, yeah, I need more than that.
I mean, I wonder if they're taking the approach of letting other companies be like the first adopters of things.
Oh,
Figuring out what
totally.
works. And then, because like smartphones existed, they came out with the iPhone. Like iPod was probably the first thing they did that really was like, we have never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Because Microsoft Zune was like, it wanted to be there, but everyone kind of looked at it and was like, it's a Zune. Like, it's named a Zune. Like, come on. I don't even know how, like, you can't even justify, like, where that comes from. Like, where does Zune come from?
I don't know.
It's not Tunes. It's not, I don't know.
Whatever.
Like, other than that, I mean, smartphones already existed, not to the threshold where Apple came with, like, the Apple Store or the App Store and all that stuff, but Samsung had smartwatches for 2 years before the Apple Watch came out, or maybe not 2 years, but like they were making wearables,
Right.
and the watch came out, and now they're doing this guy. I mean, tablets were out before the iPad came out,
Yeah.
so maybe they are just like, yeah, we're just gonna let people kind of flesh this out. It probably could have came a little more ready than it did.
They're fast follow. They're a fast follow company.
Yeah,
You know.
because their brand's so big now. They're just like, we don't need to.
They don't need to.
Yeah, we'll wait until
They
all
don't
the
need to
early
assume the risk.
adopters take on the new tech. We'll see what they like, see what they don't like, and then go from there.
But then at the same time, they'll be the first company that just gets rid of all ports on everything. And you're like,
Oh yeah,
they'll be 2 years ahead of something.
Yeah,
And
and
then
that's where they
2
get you.
years behind something
Yeah.
else. And it's just
Yeah.
like,
We're late to the party here, but we're gonna not let you use audio jacks.
yeah,
Oh.
no more headphones. And you're like, wait, huh?
Which is
So-
smart on their part too, because I think it's a revenue avenue that they opened up. It's
Oh,
like
they're the-
it's similar to microtransactions on like video
King
games.
of accessories.
Yeah, because they're just like, yeah, let's just get rid of the audio jack, but then make a headphone or a lightning bolt headphone adapter.
Yeah.
For $39.99.
Oh,
And people are gonna buy it because you have to.
Well, I mean, we deal with SD cards all day long. Just to get this thing to read an SD card, which used to have a slot on the side of it, it's a
Which doesn't work most of the time. I have one on mine, and all the time you put it in, you're just like, come on, like read it.
Oh.
So I have a card reader for mine because it doesn't work.
to get HDMI out of here, to get a card reader and regular USB, not USB, this stuff, the
Yeah.
USB 3C or whatever it is, but regular USB, a card reader and HDMI output, $90, $89.99.
Because
of course
didn't
you-
bat an eye because you needed it.
You absolutely, I bought it with this thing and I had to get it, that particular one, because it's in this color, because you're not going to have a white
Yeah.
or a black thing hanging off of this. It's like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's, they know what they're doing. In all honesty, I'm saying this, I wish it wasn't as half a bake a product because I probably would keep it.
Yeah.
I probably would keep it, and I would buy another one, knowing that in the future I'll pair them up and there'll be a stereo, because no one, I'm saying this, I mean, no way of proving this, no one was more excited about the Google Home Max than I was.
Dude, you wouldn't stop talking about it for like 2 months.
Yeah, no one was more excited about this, and I will not be sorry when I return it. I won't be sad to see it go.
Really?
I won't. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I think it's great. I think the problem with it is you need two of them. Mm-hmm. The audiophile in me, which I hate saying, but the audiophile in me wants two of them because they're so much better as a stereo pair than they are on their as a stereo mono speaker or single speaker. The aux jack, I know that'll get fixed, but it's total BS how it works right now and not useful at all. And it's too damn big. It's just too damn big.
The size doesn't bother me for what it's supposed to do. Like, I look at the Home Max and know it's not supposed to just sit on your kitchen counter.
No.
Like, it's not going to be where your HomePod is. It's not going to be where your Google Home is.
But now you're
Like,
running into, because it's a speaker and it's going after a real speaker market,
yeah,
it's now has the same problem HomePod has. It's too limited. You can't use it as a soundbar. You can't use it as
just going to ask you that, though.
You can't use it as
soundbar kit or package runs about $7.99. Like a good one.
Best soundbar on the market today.
But I'm saying if you get like the soundbar with the two surround sound speakers.
I'm saying the best soundbar package on the market today is made by Vizio, and I think it's $300. And
I have a Vizio soundbar with subs and speakers, and it's $6.99.
How long ago did you buy it?
2 years ago.
Yeah, those things are now $300 and $400. They're this price. They're a better value. You can stream to them. You can Bluetooth to them. They can run HDMI. Hell, they can connect multiple HDMI sources to these things now. And don't get me started. Like, I don't like HDMI. We currently have a Samsung TV in our house that only can
HDMI out.
Can only do anything through HDMI, which makes it impossible to use with legacy products. But this is not going to replace a soundbar. Even if you want a 2-channel stereo that happens to also have a TV in it.
Even if you have two of them.
The aux jack doesn't work yet. Now we're talking about a half-baked product, and everything visual is going through a digital pipe, an HDMI cable. This doesn't have that, and fewer TVs have that aux audio output.
Do most TVs have Bluetooth now, though, or is it just Wi-Fi?
No, some of them do.
But would these be able to connect to your TV via Wi-Fi?
Potentially.
Because if they can connect via Wi-Fi,
delay.
And not have a delay.
It's not possible. Yeah. It's not possible. So now,
if you're dedicated, like if you know those are in front of your TV as dedicated TV speakers, you wouldn't be flipping back and forth between the aux and stuff.
Yes, but if the second you say, "Hey Google,
play something,"
and then you have to go and unplug both speakers, plug them back in, turn your TV on, and then listen to TV, that gets annoying.
Yeah, especially if. I don't know if your TV's mounted on the wall. Mine is, so it's
whose TV's not mounted on it? Yeah, and another thing though, let's just say, okay, I don't want it to be a soundbar replacement. I want this to exist in a room where I listen to music, which that is a luxury fewer and fewer people are taking part in.
Yeah,
but this is going to replace a stack of amplifiers, preamps, source components. I'm going to put 2 of these on a shelf or 2 of these on a stand. Maybe have a record player and some vinyl. Even in that capacity, they're not there yet. So if they're not going to take the place of traditional speakers, and they're not quite it's not quite small enough for stylish to blend in with something else, it's too much of one thing, not enough of another. And it's not a goal. It's just not. It's not right. Now,
I'd still go with the Home Max because what's missing in the Home Max is like not even on the radar.
Right.
For the HomePod.
Right, and I would too. if this was $100 cheaper, and I thought for sure the day HomePod dropped, Google was going to drop this by $100, and they didn't. If this was $100 cheaper, I can live with it. But you're talking about $800 plus tax for a pair.
I mean, that's still cheaper than any speakers you'd be getting.
No, and then this is what's your
worth a damn?
Yeah, what's your guy? The guy's name on YouTube?
Marcus Brownlee.
Yeah, he brought up a really interesting point.
If you seriously go follow Marcus Brownlee, it's MKBHD.
Yeah, he brought up a really interesting point.
MKBHD. Yeah,
you can go get any pair of powered speakers, and if we're talking now about any pair of powered speakers, there are infinite number of powered speakers better than both of these
that don't require an amp.
That do not require an amp. Like, go down to Guitar Center. They are blowing out JBL 3 Series, $109 each. Now, that is a professional mastering level quality speaker.
Yeah.
That's a good speaker. I've helped mix movies using that technology. $109 a speaker. Buy 2 of those. Go down to Best Buy and get yourself one $30
Home Mini.
No, $30 Google Home Mini, and then go get yourself a $30 Chromecast audio. Plug the Chromecast audio into your powered JBLs. Put the Google Mini at $30 wherever you want to put it.
Yeah.
And then in your app, you tell Google Mini to only when it's going to play back something or talk to you even.
Play it through the Chromecast.
It's going to play it through the speakers. Yeah. And now you have a stereo system that costs you $260 plus tax.
$300 to be safe.
$300 that'll kick the living snot out of both of these products on this table and give you all of the functionality as well as additional inputs to plug it into your TV, plug it into your laptop, do this, do that. Mm-hmm. Smaller than this too, by the way. Smaller than this. Sounds better. And that's the problem. That's why these all-in-one solutions, I don't think can break $300. As convenient as they are, I think the magic number is $299 because the second you get over $300, you can start putting together these packages of other things.
Rigging things up.
It's not even that hard. Like, Google has made it not hard to rig something up.
Yeah, 5 years ago, I'd be like, you're going to need to do some research.
Yeah, no. And that's a really good point that Marcus brought up, that admittedly, when I was lusting after the Google Home Max, I didn't even consider. Yeah. I didn't even consider, because I've got those 30-year-old Bang & Olufsens in the storeroom.
Well, you just got the mindset of all you knew was you need amps, preamps.
Yeah, well, those are powered, and it's like we
or whatever the case.
We did
like
that
you'll
test.
Need a receiver. Or
yeah, we did that
is.
test over a cell phone, and it turns out we have an LG sound bar connected to our TV for sound. Mm-hmm. Turns out I take that same Google Chromecast audio, plug that into the aux jack of the sound bar, and tell the Google Home to use that as a Google Home speaker. Mm-hmm. Works perfectly. Mm-hmm. So now, and that sound bar sounded better than both of these.
So basically, our tip of the day: don't buy either. Go buy a Google Home Mini. And a
Chromecast audio.
Chromecast audio. And make sure whatever speakers you have
are powered and have an aux jack. Yeah.
There we go.
You can turn any powered speaker into one of these, and for $60 or less, and have absolute freedom and flexibility. But I will argue none of the things that I discussed today with respect to turning speakers into smart speakers, with the exception of maybe my Bang & Olufsen's, hold a candle to the look of the HomePod. It's pretty.
So, gun to your head, even though we talked about all the downfalls, the missing aspects, whatever you want, we've basically fleshed them out. Mm-hmm. Gun to your head, you have to pick one today. And you're not allowed to get another one for 2 years. What do you buy? You have to get one of them. Because let's say it's you don't have one, you want to get one, you have to get one of these two.
And it's solely my choice? Like,
It is solely your choice, but you cannot get another one for 2 years.
gun to my head.
Or let's say a year. A lot of technology changes in a year. But like, let's say
This
you
is going
have
to be my speaker to
and
listen
you are
to.
using it. Like it's not just gonna
My daily
sit
use
as
speaker.
It's not just gonna sit there as a status thing, being like, oh, check out what I got in the kitchen. I got the HomePod, or check out what I got on the wall. I got a Home Max. Like status aside, like bragging rights aside, like you have to have it for a year. Gun to your head, you have to pick one.
Google Home Max.
Okay.
It's not even a contest. Google Home Max. And I would enjoy the hell out of it, and I would use it every day because it's so easy to use. And I wouldn't miss the HomePod. I really wouldn't. But I'm telling you, the first firmware update that comes out for the HomePod and unlocks what that thing can really do, I would have doubt in my head. Okay. Suddenly, the craving of, is the grass greener on the other side of that fence, would come back.
Okay.
But gun to my head today, or just like, hey, I threw these on the company card, so do I need this expense on our bottom line? Which one would I not take back? Google Home Max. I'd keep it as an office speaker. But in reality, I'm going to take them both back, and I'm going to go get a Google Home Mini and just plug the speakers we already own into it.
Yeah.
And then let the Google Home Mini control the volume. So, but yeah, that is a very thorough examination of both these products. And if you want to see some really pretty footage of them and a much more concise review, stay tuned, because that is in the works before we send these back. And these are not, I will point out, everything that we talk about and review. These are not paid endorsements. Like Apple, Google did not send us jack squat. We went out and bought these the other day.
That'd be awesome if eventually we do just get sent stuff.
Yeah, and I've been in
so
that.
Apple, if you can hear us, we'd love to review that new iMac Pro, or that Mac Pro you got going on over there. So if you just want to send that over, I mean,
that'd be awesome.
We'll take great care of it.
Yeah,
we might lose the return shipping label, but
you won't miss it.
Yeah, you won't even know it's there.
I've been in that boat, and I've been in that boat. Heck, with some of our clients, we're in that boat where we have a lot of their product. It's a nice concept to think about, like, oh, I just get this arrives, but when you're in that game and it starts arriving in mass,
it's a little overwhelming.
It's very overwhelming.
Yeah, we've got a few boxes lying around.
Yeah,
waiting to get reviewed, or just
videoed, opened and videoed, and it's crazy. So. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to talk about the status of smart speakers for as long as we did. But
it's coming though. I mean,
that's where
technology. Well, yeah, it's here, but I mean, just for what the voice capabilities are going, where it's going, it's nuts. Like I was listening to a podcast where they talked about this one company is making an app that when you read, so you have it communicates with an Alexa or a Home, or probably eventually a HomePod, but it sets scenes while you read. So it basically, like, you establish what book you're reading, and maybe it picks up on it based on just when you start talking. But it then, as you're talking, let's say in the book, it's like Jane walked through a meadow full of like songbirds and like a light breeze. The voice assistant will then play background noise to set that scene. Yeah, so then it'll start playing like a gusty wind with like birds in the background.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and it's tailored. The company's initially tailoring it right now towards kids' books. That way, when you're reading like a nighttime bedtime story to your kid, it puts them, because their imaginations go crazy. So it puts them in this scene of where they are. And stuff like that where I'm like, I would have never in a million years thought about that.
No, I wouldn't have either.
Yeah.
Just wait until porn gets a hold of it.
Seriously, though.
Just wait. If they haven't already gotten a hold of it.
Yeah, they'll find some way to use it.
But, oh, God. Yeah.
Dude, at that point, oh my God, you could probably like have like interactive conversations during like.
Yeah, let's not. let's not. Let's just
You could ask your favorite porn star how the weather was today.
they're already making robot facsimiles of famous porn stars. So
Eventually, it's gonna be celebrities. So all you Ryan Gosling fans can get some action.
there you go.
We went there.
Oh,
But that's the thing though. Like in the Internet of Things, everything is possible now.
oh yeah. Everything
Everything can be automated to
Everything-
an extent at this point, or the capabilities are there.
Yeah, I mean everything we do, no matter how much you may be one of those people that likes to fight it or rally against it, and God, Lord knows I can be one of those people where I'm like, it's too much, despite
Yeah, I mean, it's
despite our business being entirely in the digital realm.
It's just I think the turnover cycle is what gets flustering. 'Cause I mean, like in 6 months, there's gonna be another one of these coming out.
Oh yeah,
In 6 months, there's another phone coming out.
yeah.
Your laptop's gonna be obsolete in 8 months.
If it's not in 8 weeks.
But like, yeah, exactly. Like that's just where everything's going.
Okay, but I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna get off on that for just a second. It's not that the technology is obsolete. It's not that it doesn't work anymore, and it's not that you need it. It's just every 6 to 12 weeks, the new ad campaign comes out convincing you. And what people don't realize.
Oh, yeah, no, your stuff will still work. But I just mean from a technical term of obsolete, like in 6 months, there will be a better computer than that. It won't.
Arguably, though, because now yes, better is better. Even if it's 1% better, it is technically better.
Oh, yeah, everything will still work on your laptop.
But we've been watching some stuff, and we've seen the benchmarks, like even that iPad or iMac Pro at $10,000+ when it's actually decked out with stuff you want in it.
Yeah.
Only being 10 to 20% faster than an iMac 27-inch Retina, which is what we use here in the office. And I'm sorry, like, yes, technically that's better. That's the new hot thing, but triple, quadruple, 5 times the price for 15%.
And I think it depends where that 15% is getting gained.
I get that, time is money, but
if your job as a video editor, if you're a video editor, for example, in that new Mac Pro, if that 15% means that a 2-hour rendering is an hour and a half, we can do it.
Potentially.
You know? But it's like if it saves you actual time versus just, I've got the fastest, best piece of tech right now. Like, if it actually helps you versus just makes you feel better about yourself, then I'm for that.
Yeah, but the funny thing is no one advertises to anybody anymore. I don't care what it is. No one advertises anything anymore about the benefits. Advertising is always, and I mean, it has been for a really long time, but back in the day, you used to see comparison, or they would at least try and feign a comparison.
Yeah, and now it's more
all
like,
about,
check how sexy this is.
Now it's all about status.
Oh, totally.
It's all status.
And I think that's where the HomePod, to get back to it, will sell well. I'm not going to say outsell, but they're going to sell well. Because at the end of the day, there is a big majority of people that will get this purely because it's Apple.
Sure.
Because they want to be able to point to their kitchen counter and be like, yeah, I've got the HomePod.
Well, and I will say this. You can't set a HomePod up without an iPhone.
Which wasn't an accident. I mean, that's why Amazon doesn't sell Google Chrome on their website. Because they have a Fire Stick. They're like, yeah, we're not going to do that.
You can't set up a HomePod without an iPhone. And you can't set up a HomePod without an active cloud account, da-da-da-da-da. So if you're like me, where I love Mac, but I'm 80% into the cult of Mac personality instead of a whole 100%.
Did that cloud leak from a year and a half ago freak you out or something?
No, I don't use cloud. I just don't. I like stuff on drives. Like that's my holdout. That's my line in the
You
sand.
like the physical ability to be like, if
Yeah.
I need it, I can literally put it between my two fingers.
Yeah, I just don't like stuff in the cloud. And I'm not anti-streaming. I don't own a movie collection anymore. I
It's all
have
on
some
Vudu.
vinyl, but that speaker, before I could even set it up, because you touch your phone to it, and that's the setup process, and it launches the app on your phone. And you click a couple buttons, and you're good. I touched my phone to it, and it said, before we can even get started, you have to activate these 3 things that I purposely
Yeah.
didn't want to have to do, and they got me to freaking do it.
Yeah.
Just to demo a speaker. Just give us your Wi-Fi password. We're good.
Yeah.
You know, the Google Home Max. Just give me your Wi-Fi password. We'll work. We're fine.
Which is also kind of creepy to think about.
Yeah, which is, just give me your Wi-Fi password. I promise I'm not listening
We're not
until
data
you
mining you.
use the magic words. Oh, that Facebook ad about Volvo. I know you've never driven a Volvo. I know you've never been to their
talked about
website.
it.
But you did say Volvo.
I'm going to laugh when you get a Volvo ad here.
That's
today.
all I get now. That's all I see on Facebook is Volvo.
Well, how
ads.
many times have you Googled Volvo cars? I think that takes precedent.
No. Do you want to know how many times I Google Volvo cars? 0 times until they started showing up in my feeds. Now
And it creates like a vicious circle because then they're there. So that
well, they're there, and then I was like,
there.
and I will admit, Volvo, well played. Well, I am a Mercedes Land Rover guy. Those are my brands. I know that sounds pretentious as hell. Those are my brands. I love their vehicles. I drive a Mercedes. I used to own a Land Rover. Yes, my Land Rover was not very reliable. I miss it dearly. I hope it's having a very good life wherever it is because I loved that car.
Yeah.
So those are my brands. Christy and I were on a road trip to Dallas, and we saw a Volvo like drive by us or something like that, and I was like, man, what is that? And then we got up on it and started talking about Volvo. I'm like, wow, they really come a long way. They're stylish, they look nice, and all this. And some ads started popping up in my Facebook feed, and that's what got me to go to the Volvo website and look at these things in earnest. So, mission accomplished.
Yeah, they got what they wanted.
They got exactly what they wanted, and they even did one further. They got me to go to a damn dealership. Granted, I went in Austin. You can't buy cars on Sunday. I went on Sunday because I knew I wasn't going to be bothered. And
You can't buy cars here on Sunday?
Nope.
Oh, man, that's funny.
So-
why would you, as a business, why would you prevent yourself from being able to sell cars on a day that most people have off?
I don't know.
Because you can buy booze here on Sundays, right?
Nope.
Or you
Can't
can
buy
buy beer.
beer and wine after noon, but you can't buy after 12 noon.
Yeah.
But you can't buy liquor
Anytime.
anytime on
So I've been in
Sunday.
some states where you can't buy liquor after like 2 p.m. on Sunday.
Nope. It was the most foreign concept to me. Like when I lived in Nashville, you can't buy cars on Sunday in Nashville either.
What in the world?
Whereas back in LA, there's car dealerships open till midnight.
That would be me. If I owned a car dealership.
7 days a week. You want a car at 11
And is
o'clock?
it like illegal? Like if you sold a car on Sunday here, like you could get
I don't think you
screwed?
can. I don't think you can be a licensed dealer and do it.
That makes no sense.
It's the same reason also why Tesla can't call it a test drive, because the second they call it a test drive, they're considered a dealership, and there can't be a dealership because they sell online. We're getting off topic, but
No, it's just interesting.
yeah.
Interesting to me.
I didn't know this, but like apparently like there's a car dealership lobby in Washington, and it is very well funded, and that is why some of the car buying experience that every man, woman, and even child probably at this point wishes they didn't have to endure when they go to buy a car. It's because this lobby is so well funded to make it so that they get to make all the rules. Turns out, I've been told, take that for what it will. You know, everyone's. I don't want to sound like Trump, where it's like, well, I've heard, but I've been told by people in the car industry, like manufacturers don't even like dealerships. They wish they could sell direct to you.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Could you imagine being able to buy like an F-150 on Amazon?
Isn't there another company going that route though?
Carvana.
Online?
Well, Volvo
Can't
is.
you get their stuff online now?
You can.
Or is like-
You secure it, but it still gets picked up at a dealership, and it's only through a dealership. That's kind of like you apply
doing it online, but
you apply for it, you get approved for it. There's no options. You're getting this car at this monthly price for this term. It's basically like buying a cell phone now, but you still got to go into the store and pick it up.
I'm okay with that. Like if I just have to go in to get it,
Right.
Because then it's like, well, I'm sure car salesmen love those kind of people.
Oh,
how can I help you today? I want to make some commission. Oh no, don't worry.
No, I just
the website made their commission.
And that's why if you're buying a car, a little free tip, if you can deal with the internet department, their deals that they can make you on a car are totally different than what the salespeople on the floor are authorized to make you.
Makes sense.
Because internet people deal in volume, and part of their commission is based on volume and not the total max price.
Making their nut on one Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I recently went into a car dealership because it looks like I'm going to have to upgrade. Not upgrade, but just I drive a totally impractical car for anything. And the front of the house salespeople, the deal that they offered versus the deal the internet guy behind the front of the house in the exact same dealership was prepared to do.
And you can't leverage those. Like you can't
No.
I got this offer from your same.
No, you just go. I mean, because at the end of the day, the dealership's still making a sale. They don't care. I mean, but if I'm a front of the house guy, to know that within my own building,
you can get undercut. Yeah.
you can get undercut, and the guy for the internet deal, I don't even have to go to the dealership.
Yeah.
Like email, text, or whatever. Like, hey, I see you have this car. I'm willing to pay this much down payment. Do we have a deal or we don't?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah,
It's
I'll take
more
that deal.
negotiating power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never have to see him. You never have to sit there and play that Foursquare game.
Schmoozing, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I already know what I want. I drove it at another dealership, or I don't even care. I know what it's going to drive like. It's a Mercedes. Will you take the deal or won't you? Mm-hmm. And that is where it's going. I mean, we are moving.
Everything's going online.
We're moving so fast, like everything, unlike this podcast, but everything else in this world is moving so fast that it's scary. It's scary, but it's also invigorating. And I get how people can be apprehensive about it. I get how it can scare people. I get how people can become jaded about it. Especially if something that you used to do for so long worked for you, and because,
And then it literally got flipped on its head.
it got flipped on its head, and now you're the one. You used to be a leader in your industry, and now you're the one playing catch up.
Yeah, while some 24-year-old has hacked the social media
And figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, in our business, with our clients and stuff, I always talk to people. It's like, why aren't you worried about so-and-so undercutting all the time? But at the end of the day, I still think that there's something to be said for the person-to-person, peer-to-peer, client to creative relationship
totally.
that wins. And a lot of these people that are insanely talented, Instagram, YouTubers, whatever, that are insanely talented, can make imagery like you wouldn't believe, but they create in a vacuum. And if you ask them to create in a real world situation where a client's money is on the line, or a person's well-being or safety. I'm not saying this of all YouTubers, because some of these are any content creator. They are putting in the time. They're putting in the time. They're doing the effort. But it is entirely different when you are building something for yourself versus, hey, Apple called. They need you to shoot a commercial for them, and their budget is X. And
Here's their script.
here's their script. So
Here's the look.
they want what you bring to the table, but they also need it to fit within the confines of their box.
Yeah, there's a lot more of need to be flexible.
Yeah, that to me is a lot of these people that give advice and that have really worthwhile things to talk about miss the mark a little bit with some of their stuff, because it's like, it's one thing to be hugely successful in your own brand. It's an entirely other thing to have your own brand that also coexists with another brand, and the two have to help each other out.
Yeah.
You know, that gets to be tough. And then, you know, the people that are more in the service business side of creative, you know, setting yourself apart now is easier than ever and harder than ever.
Yeah.
And
because you now can't just be like, hey, if you need something, book at this number.
Yeah.
As like a post. Like,
I mean,
now
it used to be, oh, you're the first one that had a website. That makes you more this and that. So that got you more leads. That got you more bookings or whatever your business is, because you had a website. Now everyone has a website. Shit, websites are free. And they're almost automatically made for you.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because we don't have one yet. We've been in business almost a full year, and we are so busy we haven't even bothered to make our own website. But now it isn't, I have a website or I have a presence or I have a Facebook page, because the people that have these massive followings on Facebook, like you're looking at them like 2-3 million followers or whatever. They did get in on the ground floor when just having a Facebook page and existing and people liking you. I'm willing to bet that probably half of their if a person has 1 million Facebook followers or YouTubers or whatever, or YouTube followers, I'm willing to bet that half of that is probably pre-algorithmic shenanigans.
It's like 2012 growth.
Yeah. Like you got your $250,000, you got your 250,000 followers or subscribers back when, because I mean, I remember when.
But which props to them for seeing the platform and being like,
absolutely,
YouTube's going somewhere. It's not just going to be home videos of people's dogs sledding or home videos of like people biffing it, like fail videos.
I can remember sitting in. As I say, I can't remember exactly where the location was, but I remember it was 2008. And it was myself, my producing partner, Jenna, who's going to be in town this weekend, by the way.
Nice. For work? For fun?
Yeah, just passing through. Nice. They're doing this whole travel the U.S. and an Airstream thing. But we were I think we were at...
She's filming it?
I think so,
okay.
Yeah. But we were sitting in a very, very, very nice conference room in Los Angeles. I want to say it was at CAA. And we were talking about like the future. And I was...
Future of filming?
Filming, film distribution, everything. And I was tearing my hair out and not screaming, but very, very passionately arguing for a non-traditional release. And I was being told that I was crazy. Like, I dump it on the internet.
Yeah.
Dump it on the internet. Let's put it on YouTube. Let's do this. Let's do that. And let's promote the crap out of it. You know, Facebook, iTunes, like, let's not even worry about theatrical. Oh my God, Andrew, no. I'm like, television rights, screw it. I don't care. Like, get me internet. And in 2008, you have to remember, like, Netflix streaming was like 12 titles. They had just started it.
Up. Yeah. People, which is crazy in and of itself.
Yeah.
Netflix used to be just
when we did our
DVDs.
Yeah, when we did our Netflix deal for the movie, like, we sent them spools of DVDs. And part of our contract for the spools of DVDs was they got the rights to stream for like 7 years. It was like you threw it in as a bonus, and now they don't want your plastic discs.
Do they still do hard copies?
I don't know.
Watch that. Be like, yeah, for $20 a month, we'll do hard copies.
Yeah,
just try and like shy you away from doing it.
Don't return them. Don't return them. You can keep them. But yeah, I remember.
I would be okay with that.
Oh God.
There's certain movies I think that like it's good to kind of have like.
I don't even have a player that'll play a physical disc anymore.
I would have to use my gaming console.
I don't even have one of them. But yeah, it's amazing how I I was fighting tooth and nail for this, and I was too early. I was too early to the party, and that's a thing. Like, you can be too early.
Yeah.
And if we had the budget to sit on the film, I probably would have released it like a year later than what we did. Because
but good luck convincing.
Oh, good luck convincing
entire
anybody.
team
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
wanna do that.
No, we're gonna sit on this for a while. What? We just worked 3 years for it. You want us to just literally sit? Yeah.
You guys can find other work to do.
Yeah. But no, I mean it's changing so fast that now you have to be on every platform. You have to have a website, but you also now have to advertise because none of the platforms are free. I mean, they are and they aren't.
Yeah. If you want to get that 2012 growth, you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah.
Which is it's fine.
And that's
great.
where
it's at.
And that's where it's at. And that's
Facebook was free for 10 years. Like, you can only ask for a company to be free for so long,
right.
or at least free for the consumer.
And I get the complaints when people say, well, I don't even get to see like what my friends and family are doing, and they're fixing that. But if you're a business,
But I listened to one of the VPs of Facebook talk about that, and he's like, the algorithm's built to show you stuff based on what you like. So if you're not liking your friends' posts,
you're not going to see it.
You're not going to see it, because if you're continually liking that cooking channel you follow, or
So you're saying if you keep clicking on the memes because they make you laugh, but then wondering where your best friend's posts go.
If you're
that's
only
why.
liking the Humans of Tumblr page, which
Right.
is just Meme City, it's going to show you the memes, because the algorithm thinks, okay,
That's all you want to see.
It's all you want to see, because it's all you're liking. So it's like, if you want to see your friend's stuff, you're probably going to have to like those posts that maybe you didn't really plan on liking before. Like, maybe it's the 10th baby photo of the week that you've seen that maybe you don't want to see it. But if you want to continue to see the rest of their stuff, you're going to have to like it. Or you can go into the Facebook settings and you can click on who you want to follow. Because now you can't just be friends with somebody. You have to follow them.
Friend, follow, and
there's a friend.
Don't you have to also?
But then there's 3 categories of follow. There's follow, make them a top priority, which basically means anytime they post,
you're going to see it.
They're going to see it.
Okay.
There's that one. There's just the generic follow, and then there's friend them but don't follow them, which basically says I don't want to see their stuff, but I don't want them to know that I'm not seeing their stuff.
But I also want the occasional access to them if I need it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. See, now I will admit.
So there's thresholds set, but then that puts a lot of work on the end user to then have to go. Because I've had my Facebook since senior year of high school. That's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There's so many people in my follow list, whether it's friends, coworkers, old coworkers, random pages of people I like Humans of Tumblr and stuff like that, that you get to that point where you then just start hacking and slashing, where you're like, well, I haven't heard from you in a while, so I'm just not going to follow you anymore. So it could create a little bit of a vicious circle.
And I'll be the first to admit, using social media for personal purposes, I epically fail at. I don't go on Facebook as a person. I don't go on Instagram as a person. I go on social media as
exceptions, because we're in it 8 hours a day.
I get that, but I see them only as business tools, and I know that. So that's why the argument, when people complain or bring up the fact that they're not seeing things in their feed, it's well, are you coming at it from a personal perspective, or are you coming at it from a business perspective? Because if it's personal, then they need to do what you just said.
Yeah.
And they need to play an active role in the curating of their own information.
Yeah, because that's all the algorithm really is doing.
Yeah.
Is everything that you're seeing on your newsfeed is directly correlated to your own actions. And also, not only just liking a video, but if you are liking someone or something, it tracks how long you stay on a post.
Yeah.
So if you're just and then you stop on something, it's going to assume whatever you stopped on you cared about, whether you liked it, shared it, did anything.
That's something you wanted to see more of.
Yeah, because you stopped on it.
Right.
It's why the video, when you're going through your feed now, it's why the video auto plays when you get to it, because it's tracking. That's its way of tracking when you started and stopped on a post. And that's probably why they're encouraging video more, because it gives them more data to know what their users are doing. Because then they can be like, oh, lifestyle videos get an average watch time of 7 seconds versus sports gets an average watch time of 3 seconds. 2 examples,
Right.
not actual stats. But yeah, so like when it auto plays that video, if you're on it for a minute, whatever category that was tagged in, whatever category that page is part of, it's going to assume that you want to see more of those things.
So, okay. But if you're a business on Facebook and you're wondering why your business isn't being served to customers, we're basically saying that's a paywall at this point.
That's more target ads.
Yeah. Like if you're a business and you want to exist on social media, which when we say social media, we're really talking Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Even Twitter.
Especially Snapchat's update. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Their Snapchat update is, I hope I get used to it. I don't know.
Well,
I might give up. Like I might just do Instagram stories now.
Which I think Zuckerberg.
It's where it's going.
Zuckerberg and Facebook are just sitting there going, this Snapchat update's the greatest thing in the world for them.
I guarantee you they threw a party when they saw Snapchat's update and then when they saw people lose their minds.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't broken. Like, it wasn't. And they just, I get it. They want it to be more of a discovery app where you can actually find people. Because that's the thing is Snapchat, if you didn't actively ask someone, hey, Andy, what's your Snapchat handle? I legit couldn't find you. I would not be able to find you.
Right.
I could type in your name. I could try and guess your username. I wouldn't, even if I found you, let's say I found you, but I didn't know it was you, I wouldn't know because there's no like profile you can click on to be like, okay, Austin, Texas, Andy, like enough things check out that it's like, okay, that's probably him. Mm-hmm. Like I've tried to add Mike, our little brother, on Snapchat multiple times, and I've added 5 people that I thought was him. Definitely not him.
Wow.
Definitely not him.
Yeah, I get that any social platform can also be used for business purposes, but I think when people talk about online marketing, online business, I think they're talking about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Although I have to say,
Twitter's more of like the modern day, like microblogging.
Sure, I went to boost a tweet the other day because I'd never done it before, and I was looking
far behind on that.
Well, I was just looking into it to see if this is something that one of our clients should also be looking into because they tend to do pretty well on Twitter.
Yeah,
they want way too much. Opening salvo on a tweet is $50.
And what does that get you? Did they say?
It's
like
like
Facebook's beautiful about that.
Yeah.
You put any dollar amount in there, well, $3 is the minimum.
Yeah.
Which that's the thing too. Like
it's the cheapest advertising there is.
Yeah, when we say advertising, it's like, yeah, you don't need to throw thousands or hundreds of dollars at stuff.
Yeah.
Like just start with like $3. Like maybe instead of that third coffee of the day that you've had,
yeah,
take that $4.50, round up 50 cents and put $5 on a post. Is it going to get you 100 leads that's going to like make your growth like 200% for the next 6 months? No. For $5, no. But you can put $5 just to start just getting yourself seen more.
Yeah.
And it adds up.
It does. And then that's the thing is
you can't do it just once. That's the key that I think people miss on a lot with Facebook marketing.
I think people have an unrealistic expectation of, I did this, I expect X.
Yeah, like I just paid you this amount. What can you do for me now?
Yeah.
Where Facebook's kind of looking at you like, we've been providing service for you for 10 years.
Yeah, we're going to show this to people. That's what we're going to do for you.
And they'll tell you, like, for $5 you can see an additional 3,000 heads. And yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot because you see these followers or these influencers where they have millions and millions of followers with thousands and thousands of likes that it creates this facade of like, oh, so if I put $5 down, I'll go from 15 likes on a Facebook post to 1,000 likes on a Facebook post. No. You're gonna go from like 15 likes to like 70.
Yeah.
And if your stuff's good and those additional 3,000 people that saw it shared it, that's when it can go crazy.
Right.
Or maybe the post is going really well on that $5.
Put a little bit more on it.
5 days later, throw like $5 on it.
Yeah. Like, keep the party going.
Yeah.
But I think too, Because Facebook advertising, it's been around, but it's still a little bit of a dark art to a lot of people. I think that a lot of people don't realize that it's something you kind of have to babysit
A little bit.
a little bit. And
Even if it's just like at the end of each day
yeah,
or each morning.
you kind of babysit it. But second of all, I don't think people have any understanding of what is a reasonable expectation. Like,
Or what's a properly used post to boost.
yeah, there's those, and we'll get in. We'll definitely do another podcast about that. But I will say this: I think the number one thing that people who run ads, Facebook ads, for their first time need to understand is, let's say you reach 1,000 people, 1,000 impressions. An impression is
Organically, like not paid.
no. Let's say paid. Let's say paid. You paid $5, and Facebook said that you were going to reach 1,000 impressions a day. The difference between an impression and an interaction, or an impression and a result. An impression means 1,000 people were given the chance to physically see what it is you did.
That's where it gets tricky because there's impression and reach. Impression means they actually saw it.
Right.
Reach meant that it was put in their feed.
It was put in their
So
feed.
impression, if you see impressions, it means they actually saw it. They saw it. They stopped on it.
Right.
They did something. Reach just meant it was in their feed. We can't guarantee that they saw it.
Yeah. So we're going to reach 3,000 people. You made 1,000 impressions. 10 people clicked on something,
Yeah.
whether that was
Whether it's a picture,
a like button, or the link to your website. 10 people clicked. I know a lot of people go, I reached 3,010. And what we always have to try and tell our clients is that's a really, really good ratio. And it's not for every business. Now, if Apple's reaching 3,010, but I'm saying if you're going from
nothing.
if you're going from absolute obscurity,
Never done a Facebook ad.
never done it, 3,000 people, 1,000 people physically saw it, and 10 people clicked, and of those 10, 3 of them went to your site, which was your ultimate goal. Those were 3 leads, 3 targeted leads that did exactly what you wanted them to do, that only cost you $5.
Yeah. And they probably didn't either know about you before this.
Exactly.
Or you finally kicked them in the rear
And
go.
To go. And to put that in perspective, and why Facebook is...
And that was in one day. That's
Yeah.
what people forget too. I think
It's one
we
day.
get so lost in
Yeah.
the now, and social media is just like now.
Yeah.
Everything's great now. That you lose track of like, yeah, no, but if you do that every day, or even just 2 or 3 times a week, like you build off of it.
Yeah, let's say you get 3 qualified leads a day for an entire month. Okay, so that's 90.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, it's 90 leads.
90
that you did not
leads
have.
that you didn't have in a month that cost you $150 total.
Yeah.
$150.
Yeah.
So 150 to do 90 leads, and let's say you
And that's
can,
if you're boosting every day for $5.
Yeah.
And like we don't even do that.
no. But let's just say, okay, so you have 90 leads, and you convert 5 into paying customers.
Yeah.
And your widget costs
And
your
that's where
service.
and that's where your conversion rate matters on what your price
Yeah,
point is.
but
Like,
let's say your
if you
service-
get 10 leads on a $2.99 product, like you're probably going to want more.
Yeah.
But
But if you're a service-based business, which we are,
yeah,
and a lot of my friends are, and even Christy is, like, if your service is $200, $300, $400,
Or in the
2,000,
thousands, yeah. those leads add up.
Those
quick.
leads add up really quick, and they become really, really valuable. I just think that a lot of
And
people
then those
have,
leads open up referrals too.
yeah,
Like there is like a big trickling effect.
but you also can't downplay the importance and the impact of impressions either, because you impressed upon somebody today and they didn't click and they didn't go to your website, but same thing, like you impressed upon it today. 4 months later when they need you,
Yeah.
if you're not continuing to impress upon
Or just
them
be seen.
or just be seen, like the likelihood of them going, okay, I've seen this, like with movies, like you want a plot point to to stick in with the movie, you've got to reference it 3 times in a script or in the course of a film, and you can't do it boom, boom, boom. You've got to first, second, and third act
Unless
it.
you're doing it tongue in cheek, but
You've got to first, second, and third act it, but you got to show it 3 times. So if you're making an impression, no click. Make that second impression, still no click. Make that third impression. All of a sudden, this new group is starting to click through, and these are starting to become real leads. You just got to stick with it. And the beautiful thing about it is you can't afford to not do it. I don't know, if you're a business, a small business, a big business, and you're not advertising, you're not giving Facebook $3 on the regular, you can't afford not to. You will be out of business. You will fail. The current marketplace, the current world just isn't built for you to be scared. Yeah. I don't even want to call it naive. It's fear. Like it's time to invest in yourself now.
Yeah. And you can even just go $10 a week.
Yeah.
You can post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, throw $3 on each post. And let's say on Wednesday, maybe that Monday one is hitting like crazy. You can just disable the Wednesday ad.
Yeah.
Put that extra $3 on that Monday ad.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing with Facebook ads too, is you can allocate. Let's say you have 4 ads running.
Yeah.
And you've got $50 across 4 ads. 2 of the ads are doing well and 2 of them aren't so hot. You can kill those 2 ads and your money isn't lost. I think maybe that's another thing too, is people think, well, I put $10 on this and it's not doing well. That was a waste of $10. Like, no, you can turn that off and they'll just roll that money into an ad that you want, that you like, that's working.
Right.
Or you can just shut it off and make a new ad and put that money towards that new ad. So like there is flexibility. Like you're not stuck with your decision.
Yeah.
And I think that can eliminate some fear that people may have. Because there's that fear of, oh, what if I spend $20 and this thing does nothing? Like, I basically flushed $20.
But I'm going to argue, yeah, what if? But what are you going to learn too?
Well, yeah, you can learn what didn't work.
Yeah, you're going to, Edison, the
but from
famous
a money
quote.
side, like if it doesn't work, you can cut it early.
Yeah. And you'll know if something's working within a day or 2.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah.
But at this point, to be any business, any market, to be like, oh, I don't see the value in that. It's like, I don't think you can afford to be that way anymore. I just don't. And we'll talk about it more in depth, because I think we've built an entire business around exactly that, is bringing people into I don't even want to say the future, bringing them into modern day. Yeah. That is your job. Yeah,
and it's not going anywhere. Like,
no.
I think there's still a percentage of people that are holding out like, oh, this is all a fad. It's like, no.
No, this is only...
I would have maybe agreed with you in like 2010. But
here's the other thing, though. You talked about, it's all related, you talked about 2012 Facebook growth, where it's just, I have a Facebook presence, I can grow.
Yeah, and if you just posted every day, it didn't matter what it was. You were going to get seen.
You were going to get seen, you were going to get likes, you were going to grow. Ad prices on Facebook right now, advertising on Facebook right now is like 2012.
It's cheap.
It's ground floor. If you do it, they're here to help you.
Yeah.
They are here to help you. The apps are super simple to use, to learn. The information is out there. This will not be the case in 3 to 5 years. Facebook advertising will be a richer man. I won't say a rich man, but it will be a richer person's game.
Yeah, where maybe the minimum's $10 or $15.
I think the minimums are going to go at least 25.
In like 5 years, probably.
I think they're going to go at least 25 in 3 years.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because
they can.
Because they can, and because Facebook will own so much more of the market and the platforms that they don't already have, that they don't need to waste their time building $1, $2, $3 at a time.
Yeah, because they'll have that leverage of being like, all right.
And then the only people that are going to be able to afford to do it in a meaningful way are the
gonna be
Pepsi Colas, the Apples,
people already established,
the people that are already established. So you got to get established now.
Yeah.
You've got to start playing the game, get your strength up now, so that when that switch happens, you are in a position where you've built your fan base, you've built your audience, that you can monetize it, maybe without needing or without having to have so many eggs in the Facebook basket. Like it's diversifying your portfolio at that point.
And one thing I think people miss on with the Facebook ads too is by doing paid Facebook ads, you know exactly what market is following you. Because you can target certain audiences, whether it's male, female, age demographics, certain interests. Like if you're a interior design company and you can make your post where it's like, I only want this post to be seen by people who have an interest in interior design, home decor, follow Pier 1 Imports, Crate and Barrel, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You then know your followers are that market. So then you can tailor your post to that market. Or you can, if you know what your target market is before, you can attack them. Versus like organically, you're like, yeah, I got 10 new followers today. One looks like it's a home decor company. One looks like it's a mother of three. Another one looks like it's a creepy 50-year-old dude looking to poach interior designers. Like you don't know. Mm-hmm. So with the paid ads, you can target that better, and you can still grow organically. You can still grow for free right now. Mm-hmm. But like you were saying, it's like get in on the paid side now, so you have breadcrumbs. Like start the breadcrumb trail now, mm-hmm. because when it does get too expensive, you then either have a following that you can ride without paying, mm-hmm. or you have a big enough following where you can justify
paying more
those payments.
Yeah. So that's all.
Wild.
I mean, I really do think that as time goes on, this is going to be a topic that will be of interest to a lot of people. So we will definitely be coming back to this. But
like types of posts.
Post. Yeah. So, but I would say for a launch podcast, this is lots of stuff. So
did we run over an hour again?
Yeah, I think we did. So anyway, we already tested one of these out, but this is the one for public consumption. So anyway, let's leave it there. I think this was good, and on a high note. And if you have topics or questions that you would like us to discuss on these shows, or maybe discuss in a separate video, please leave them in the comments section below. If you agree with us or even disagree with us, we hope that you'll stick around for the next one. And please like and subscribe so that we can continue to grow. And we will continue to do our best to bring you worthwhile topics and content. So until next time, this has been Andrew Robinson.
And Josh.
And thank you for listening to the It's All Related podcast.
Yes. Have a rockin' rest of your day.
See ya.
Peace.